It's time for you to grow up, join the real world, and finally get a job. Did you think that you were going to be able to just use your parents' money for the rest of your life? Well, I'm not going to stand by and do nothing while you freeload your way through life. It's pathetic.
Wait, what is this all about me getting a job? I do work. I don't really know what you're talking about.
Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? I know that all you do is spend your time going out to things like concerts all the time. I've heard all about it from Mom. She told me all about how you've been traveling to all of the country just to go and see some of these shows, and all on Mom and Dad's dime, huh? You must really have no shame.
I do go to a lot of concerts, yes, but it isn't Mom and Dad who are paying for them. Besides, I do have a job and I'm allowed to spend my money however I'd like. I don't know why you think you have a right to tell me what I should or shouldn't be doing with my money.
Do you ever get tired of lying right through your teeth like that? I know for a fact that you're home basically all day just goofing off and being a bum. You quit your job and ever since then, you've been at home and refused to take any responsibility. Can you please just stop with all of these lies already?
Why won't you listen to me? What would I have to gain from lying to you?
I don't need to listen to you, because I hear all about what you're really doing from Mom and Dad. They are getting fed up with having you around the house at all hours of the day, never giving them any kind of break from you. I even heard them say that they want you to find a job right away.
Did Mom really say that about me? She said that I need to find a job?
That's right. She's sick of having you leech off her and not contribute anything. And I'm shocked that you could even do something like that. I thought you had more pride than be a total bum all day. But instead, you just force our parents to pay for whatever it is, whatever concert you want to go to, without care in the world. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Carrie.
Wait, Elena. I really think that there has to be some kind of mistake here.
There's no mistake, and I'm sick and tired of your excuses. If you have all of this time to make reason why can't you work, then you should be out there looking for a job instead, or at least be out there looking for a rich man who can give you what you've been taking from Mom and Dad.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
It means that I'm your younger sister, in my 20s, and even I'm married, but you're well into your 30s and are basically an old maid at this point. You don't want to wait too long for these things, or else you might miss your chance for the right marriage.
Well, first of all, I don't really even want to be married. So I don't feel any pressure of a ticking clock or anything like that.
Yeah, that sounds like something someone who isn't able to find anyone to marry them would say. You can't just be honest with me and say that you really want to get married. I don't know why you have to be trying so hard pretending to be this person that you're really not. Maybe if you just stopped all the lying and tried to be more genuine with people, you wouldn't be such a loser.
Excuse me? And just how am I a loser, huh?
I'm not going to retype everything that I just said, but suffice it to say that I can't just sit back and watch you act like this anymore. I can't sit back and watch you do this to Mom and Dad anymore. You need to either get a job or get married. I don't care which, but I'm not going to let this go on without saying anything anymore.
Hey, Mom, if you have a problem with living with me, I really wish that you would just come out and say it to me. I don't want to hear this kind of stuff because you were grumbling about it to Elena.
Grumbling? Carrie, what on earth are you talking about? I have no idea what this could be about.
I've already heard it all from Elena, Mom. She told me about how you complain to her about living with me every day, and that you feel like I'm not giving you any room.
Oh my gosh, did Elena really go and tell you all of those things? What is she thinking coming to you with those kinds of complaints?
She was worried for you and Dad, and that's why she told me all of what you were saying. But from the way she made it sound, you're already really sick and tired of having to live with me.
Now look, Carrie, we're family, and I think we all reserve some right to grumble about each other to other family. Besides, I don't think that I did anything by expressing some frustrations to Elena when she doesn't even want to live with us.
Well, I don't get why you were making those complaints to her in the first place. I mean, the whole reason that I'm home so often is because I work from home, and the reason I do that is because you insisted on me finding a job to allow me to do so. You're the reason that I'm home all the time, don't you get that?
Oh, please. You make it sound like as if I forced you to do all of that. I didn't do anything of the sort. You could have just said no if you wanted to.
Are you kidding me? You literally threatened me if I didn't. It all started 2 years ago when you fell and broke your leg. I didn't mind letting you and Dad move in with me then, but then you started to talk about how dangerous it was for older people to be left at home alone. That's when you started insisting that I could find a job that I could do from home. You told me that if I didn't do that, the next time you or Dad got hurt, it would be all my fault.
I don't really remember saying any of that to you, though. I'm pretty sure that you were the one who was worried and that you changed jobs all on your own volition.
Are you kidding me with that? That's ridiculous.
Now, don't get me wrong, Carrie. I'm very grateful that you made that decision for us, but still, how can we not feel a little trapped when you're home all day long? And when you work, we feel that we aren't allowed to make any kind of noise until you're done. I mean, we can't even watch TV in our own home anymore because we're worried it would distract you from your work.
Well, that's why I give you and Dad $1,000 a month. You both are more than welcome to take that money and use it to enjoy yourselves outside of the house. After all, you're the one that told me that your retirement money wasn't going to be enough for the two of you to live off of. But if you're not even spending your money on anything, then why am I still giving you money every month?
Well, your father and I would go out more often, but we just feel like it's still not enough to cover all of the expenses. If you really wanted us out of that house badly, I think you would be able to pay us a bit more, don't you think?
If you're already so eager to get out and do things, can I take that to mean that your knees are feeling much better then? Because quite frankly, I'm sick of feeling like I'm the one who's in the way, when I only even started to work from home at your request.
Well, fine then. If it's really that bad, then why not just look for a whole new job, huh? But if you do that, just make sure to give your father and I some more money every month. $1,000 simply isn't going to do it. I think we need at least $1,500.
Are you kidding me? The whole reason that I'm encouraging you two to go out more is because you keep complaining about me working at home. If I'm not working at home, then I'm not paying for you two to go out either. It's one or the other, but you can't have it both ways.
Well, that just won't do. Your father and I have plenty of things that we would like to go out and do. Especially your dad. He's gotten into all kinds of new hobbies thanks to you, and those hobbies cost money. You started all of this, so you follow through with it.
I really can't believe that you're treating me like this.
Just hurry up and find a new job already. One where you'll be able to pay us more than just $1,000. Don't you want your dad to keep enjoying himself in his old age? Anyways, I'm still not back home yet, so I want something warm for dinner waiting on the table for me when the time I get back home. Hey sis, I just wanted to let you know that I heard the good news. I heard all about how you finally decided to get off your lazy butt and found yourself a job. Not only that, I heard you're already on a business trip and overseas too.
How many times am I going to have to tell you that I was never the jobless shut-in that you thought I was? But yes, if you must know, I am away on a business trip right now. I'm in Australia right now, but since it's in the southern hemisphere, it's still winter here.
Well, you mean they sent you all the way to Australia? And Mom and Dad really bought that story?
What do you mean they bought that story? What story are you talking about?
I mean, that you might have been able to fool those two with such a simple lie, but I see right through it. There is no way that you just start working for somewhere and they're already sending you around the world.
I don't know what you're talking about at all, Elena. I'm literally away on a business trip in Australia right now. There's no lie or trick or anything like that.
Why do you insist on keeping up this game after you've been already caught? You're probably not even in Australia, are you? You're probably just away at some other concert right now. You're lying about this business trip just so that you can go on a trip of your own. You probably haven't even started looking for a job yet, have you? Because even if you did have a job, I can't imagine anyone ever trust you enough to send you across the world like that. That's how I know this whole thing is just a lie. None of this is adding up.
I really don't even know what to say to you anymore, Elena.
Well, I'm just as shocked to think that you're so against working that you would lie to your own family like this, all while spending our parents' money on whatever you want. You are really the lowest of the low.
For the last time, I am not jobless. I literally have a job. I'm employed and you were just making all the wrong assumptions about me based on what Mom has been telling you. I just wish that you would listen to me for once.
And why would I waste any time listening to you when I know you're not going to tell me the truth? You don't even deserve to live with our parents if you're going to treat them like this. I never want you coming back home again. I've already thrown out all of your things, so you don't have a place to come back even if you did.
Wait, what do you mean you've thrown all my stuff away?
Well, you weren't looking for a job or a man, and it's clear you weren't going to change your ways anytime soon. So I knew the only option I had left was to force you out of the house by any means necessary.
And that's why you had to throw away all my belongings?
That's right, and once I did, it was like the whole house breathed a sigh of relief to be finally rid of you. You should see Mom and Dad. It was like they just de-aged by 10 years after realizing they would never have to deal with you again.
Please tell me this is some kind of joke.
It's no joke at all. And after I got rid of all of your stuff, they asked me if my husband and I wouldn't mind moving in with them. Everyone is so happy that you're gone. You would think it was someone's birthday or something. Mom said that she was so happy that we're going to be moving in because it means she might eventually be living with her grandchild.
So Mom and Dad are really that happy that I'll be moving out? And they had no problem with you throwing away all of my stuff either?
I really don't get why you're talking as if you're some kind of victim here. You were always the bad guy, never working, and always making Mom and Dad pay for everything. Can you blame us for never ever wanting to see you again? That's why I had to throw away all of your things, to prevent you from ever even thinking about coming back home.
And you're really sure that it's all over? Thank you so much.
Thank you? What do you mean? You're not supposed to be thanking me for this.
But I'll never have to go back home again thanks to you. You have no idea how huge of a favor you've just done me. I don't have to live with Mom and Dad anymore. This must be what it's like to be released from prison after being locked up for so long. Oh, I really just can't thank you enough for this, Elena.
Hold on a second. What's going on here? Did you hit your head or something? I just kicked you out of your own home and you're happy about it? This doesn't make any sense.
Don't worry, I'm feeling just fine, actually. But I was thinking for such a long time of how I could move out of the house without causing too many problems. But you've gone and solved all of that for me. It's just incredible.
But you're supposed to be some antisocial shut-in. Why are you so happy to be kicked out of the house? You don't have a man or a job or anything.
Elena, I've told you 1,000,000 times already, I do have a job. And I've contributed more than my fair share into expenses for the house. In fact, I was even giving Mom and Dad $1,000 a month to spend on whatever they wanted.
Wait, you were helping them pay for things around the house and you gave them an allowance?
Well, you know how Mom is always complaining about me hanging around the house so much, right? I actually agreed to pay them some money every month so that they could try and find things to do outside of the house while I worked.
So, then you've been just working from home this whole time?
That's right. You remember a few years ago when Mom fell and broke one of her legs, right? Well, after that, she insisted that I find a job I can do from home so that I could take care of her. So I quit my job and found one that would let me do all of my work from home. It wasn't something I wanted to do, but I did it for Mom.
Are you serious about all this? I really had no idea at all.
Well, it's true, but I hate working from home and it leaves me feeling more drained than when I used to go into an office for work. Not only that, but I feel like I'm on double duty at home because of having to deal with our parents. Plus, Mom just came to me recently asking me to up the money I was giving her from $1,000 to $1,500 a month. I knew then that I'd have to find a way to get out of living with them.
Mom wanted $1,500 a month just to go out and find things to do during the day?
Pretty much, although I understand that she just uses all the money to take bi-weekly trips to a spa resort instead.
Why am I just learning about all of this now?
Elena, I really can't thank you enough for freeing me from that life. I was busy looking for a new job and even a new place. I reached out to my current job asking if they had any options for me, and they said they were looking for someone to go on a business trip. I had to move to a new department within the company, but if it meant getting out of the house for a while, I couldn't turn it down. But now, thanks to you, I don't even have to worry about going back home ever again now.
Wait, hold on, I'm still so confused. So you're telling me the truth about all of this? Even giving Mom and Dad an allowance? I won't have to pay them anything like that though, will I?
That really isn't any of my business, sis. You're gonna have to talk that one out with Mom and Dad. But I know that they've been using that money to get into some new hobbies that are apparently quite expensive. And they won't be content to just live off their retirement money either. So I can't imagine they would be very happy if all their fun money just dried up overnight. Although, now that I'm kicked out of the house, I don't have to worry about that anymore. That's your problem to deal with now.
Carrie, you have got some explaining to do, young lady. Did you hear about how your sister got laid off? Your father and I just heard the news about Elena and her husband now.
Wait a second, both Carrie and her husband were laid off at the same time?
Well, you did know that they worked at the same place, didn't you? And unfortunately, their company had to make some staff cuts and neither of them made it.
Wow, well, it sounds like things are a real mess over there then.
I thought something might have been up when she asked if they could move in with your father and I. But we have no idea it was because the two of them had lost their jobs.
Okay, Mom, just settle down for a second. It's not either their fault that they lost their jobs in some corporate downsizing. But I'm sure they'll be able to find new jobs right away.
I certainly hope so. But either way, it takes time to find new jobs. And until they do, and are making money again, you're going to have to keep helping us pay our bills. Not to mention the money your dad and I continue with all of our new hobbies. I just don't understand how could this happen. How are we supposed to pay all of our debts at this rate?
Wait, your debts? What do you mean by that, Mom?
Well, I told you that your dad and I had picked up some new hobbies that cost money, didn't I? One of those new hobbies just happened to be playing poker at the casino.
You've been using the money I've been giving you to gamble?
Well, at first it was just a little bit of money, but before we knew it, we'd lost all track of time. We weren't going on trips or anything, just spending all of our money at the poker table. We just thought if we had one big break, we could win everything we'd lost back.
I can't believe you two!
Well, blame your father. He's the real one with the issue. He just doesn't know when to stop. He keeps going to the ATM, says that he doesn't have any more money left in the bank.
And so now you two are in debt because of this. Just how much money do you owe?
It's sitting at something like $5,000 or so. But we were using that money that you gave us to help pay that down. So that's why you can't just stop giving us money, because you're not living here anymore. Especially now that I know Elena and her husband are unemployed.
Well, it sounds to me like you two haven't done a very good job of paying that down at all.
Carrie, please. You need to do this for your family. We're begging you here. We know that you have a job, and we won't ask for too much. Forget the $1,500, but at least keep sending us the $1,000.
You've got a lot of nerve asking me for money after helping Elena throw me out of the house. I don't think I owe you anything after that.
You little brat! What kind of way is that to respond finding out that your parents are in financial trouble? What happened to the sweet daughter who changed jobs just to take care of us?
I'm afraid that girl is long gone, Mom. You and Dad only have yourselves to blame for getting rid of her.
Just what is that supposed to mean?
It means that if you want money, you're gonna have to start working again and earning for yourselves. I don't want anything to do with this anymore.
I can't believe you, Carrie. You're the worst. And I can't stand living with Mom anymore. She is driving me crazy.
Oh, Elena, what's the matter? I thought that you were looking forward to finally living with our parents again.
Don't you pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about. Did you know all about the debt they have?
I actually just learned about it recently. I had no idea about it while you were throwing me out, but afterwards Mom told me about it.
Well, I also just found out about those two spending all their time at the casino gambling their money away. Apparently they're already $10,000 in the hole.
Oh, really? Wow, that's twice the amount that Mom said the debt was.
She told me the same number you did, but I did some investigating in their accounts and found out they really owe $10,000. Can you believe that? How could they be so irresponsible?
I really do have to agree with you on that one, Elena.
And now Mom won't get off my back about finding a new job. She's coming into my room every day, asking if anyone has called back for an interview yet. And she keeps spamming with me with links to various job listings, and she isn't giving me any privacy at all.
Okay, Elena, let's just take a breath here. I mean, Mom and Dad have always been like this, you know that. Isn't that the reason why you got married and moved out as quickly as you did?
Well, yeah, but I guess I thought they would have chilled out after all this time.
I'm afraid that I can tell you from first-hand experience that they have not.
But none of this is my fault anyways. It's not like I was fired. I was let go because my company had to downsize. We barely have any savings of our own as things are now. That's why when I thought you were just goofing at home without working, I figured that it was my turn to live off of Mom and Dad for a while. And after I go through all of the work to kick you out, I found out that Mom and Dad are actually swimming in debt.
I'm sorry, but it sounds to me like I'm not the one you should be mad at. Mom took me for granted and spread lies about me to you, and look where it got you both.
Well, that's not my fault. Mom was lying to me, so I can't be responsible for my actions. And now that Mom knows I don't have a job anymore, she's just a jerk. And on top of that, she won't stop asking me for money or making me clean up around the house. Plus, we barely have enough money to feed all of us, so there are some nights where I'm going to bed without dinner just to make sure Mom and Dad are fed.
I'm afraid that I had to do the exact same thing you did. I had to be smart about how to budget my money for all of us. And there were times where I had to skip meals for their sakes as well.
But I think Mom is doing it to punish me sometimes. Even when I know we have food, she won't let me have any unless I had gone for at least 3 job interviews that day. How am I supposed to keep going on like this?
Sounds to me like you'll just have to grit your teeth and get through it. But don't worry, I'm sure that even if you do everything you can to take care of her, in the end, she'll still complain about you to whoever will lend an ear.
But that's just what happened to you.
You know, the more I hear someone else describe exactly what I went through, the more grateful I am that I'm leaving. So again, thank you so much for everything, Elena.
If you're really thankful, then the least you can do is give me some money. We're seriously just on the edge here. And I don't know how much more of Mom I can take. Please, I'm so sorry for everything, but you have to help us.
Not gonna happen. Good luck with all that. I heard that Elena tried to stick it out with my parents for a bit longer before her and her husband got fed up and left. And although they hadn't found full-time jobs, they both started working several part-time jobs to afford a small apartment for them both. Without either of their children to live off of, my mom flew into a bit of a panic and begged for either of us to come back. When I got those messages, I simply blocked my mom and everything and eventually got a new phone number.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Layla, where are you right now? Everyone is out looking for you right now.
Kinsey, I have realized something very important. I see that we only have one shot at life, right?
Wait, what? Did you think that we had more chances at starting a new life?
Well, if there is only one life that we can live, I should be living my life the way I want to, right?
But where are you right now, Layla?
I'm at the train station.
What train station?
Close to where I've been living.
Huh? But that station is like an hour's walk away from your house. And there's only 30 minutes left until the wedding ceremony begins.
I am not getting married.
Hold on, Layla, what are you saying? Today is the day of your wedding, right? And everyone you invited are already here waiting for you to marry the groom. And after telling everyone for the longest time you were going to get married, you're not? What the hell has happened to you?
It turns out that I don't want to get married anymore. And I just want you to know that this isn't some sort of confusion on my part.
You really don't want to get married then? But if you really didn't want to, then you should have told everyone that before your big day, right? Right now, everyone is worried because we don't know where you ran off to.
Well, I plan to move away now.
My head is starting to hurt. Are you kidding me? You're going to move away now?
If I continue to live in the house I've been in, my fiance will come looking for me, right? And you, Mom, and Dad all know where I was living, so I couldn't hide. And so I've decided I'll move far away and start my life over again and live it the way I want to.
But that's just what you think would happen. Are you actually planning to do all of this today?
I know that you'd all come after me, so that's why I chose today to run while you all are busy. Now, take care of that wedding for me, could you?
What do you want me to do about your wedding? Come back here and take responsibility for your own wedding, Layla. This has nothing to do with me, right?
But you're my older sister, Kinsey.
Even though I'm your big sister, you running away from your wedding is not something I need to be responsible for. You have to come back here and apologize to your fiancé for this, okay?
Now that you bring him up, I never chose to be with him.
But you were the one that chose to ask his hand in marriage, right?
He's the guy that Mom and Dad brought to me to go out with.
You kept saying that you wanted to get married and asked them over and over again to introduce you to a good-looking man. And so Mom and Dad did exactly that for you.
But I thought they'd bring me someone a bit better looking than him. If only there was another man that I could have chosen with a bit better of a face.
Huh? I just have to ask this for my own interest. But you haven't been with any other men this whole time, right?
I don't care about him anymore, so we don't have to keep talking about this.
Hey, Layla?
I'm telling you that my fiancé looks good and all, but he's only a simple office man. And he's working in the same company as Dad, right?
I've heard he works under Dad, but...
So that means that even at his best, he'd be doing the same as Dad. I hate simple people like that. I want to become someone that has a lot of money, you know? And having to be with an office worker making the same as pretty much every other man is not going to happen to me.
So you're being that selfish again, huh? Can you stop trying to think of only yourself when it comes to things involving others? I don't care who you plan to get married to, but making other people have to go through trouble for you is not okay.
But they have you there, so you can do something to ease the pain for everyone, right?
Stop playing around, Layla. I am well aware that you are a pretty selfish woman when it comes to money and things like that. But what you're doing now is taking things way too far. You're already an adult now, okay? And when you chose to get married and chose to have a wedding, you made both those decisions yourself, right? So if you don't want to go through with all this anymore, you need to come back here and clean up the mess.
Well, I don't like having to deal with anything troubling, and all that other crap like people's feelings is just too much for me. I'll leave all that to you.
I am not going to clean up your mess. I may be your older sister, but I am not some kind of assistant to you.
But having you as my older sister go in front of everyone and say you're sorry for my actions should work out, right?
But why do I have to be the one saying sorry for your selfish actions?
Because that's what big sisters are for, right? You want to take care of your cute little sister, so you'll do anything to make sure they stay happy.
But when you cancel on a wedding with your fiancé, that's like something out of an old drama or something. Do you not see just how many problems this is going to cause for everyone here?
There will not be that many problems, Kinsey. Just have everyone start eating and drinking, and then you can all get drunk and have a laugh over this.
But you just went and left the wedding without saying a word to anyone, so you're going to have to pay for the wedding being canceled. And your fiancé is also going to want you to pay him a settlement for the trouble you've caused. And you're going to have to apologize to all the guests that came here today taking time out of their busy lives. And finally, you're going to have to tell his parents why you chose to not marry him in the end.
All right then. Why don't you take my place in the wedding?
Huh? What is wrong with you?
You and I are about the same height, although my breasts are a bit bigger. But you can fit into my dress and pull it off, I think. And you're single right now with no boyfriend or anything holding you down. This will be perfect for you. So instead of me, you can get married today.
Come back to reality right now. I am not going to be taking your place as the bride today. I don't want to get married yet, and I will not be taking over your wedding to do so.
The train's here. So I'm going to leave now. I plan to become happy again, so you go ahead and make yourself happy as well. Bye-bye.
Hold it right there, Layla. Don't even try blocking me. Layla? Mom, where are you? Dad even told me that he hasn't seen you anywhere yet.
Hi, Kenzie. Thank you.
Huh? What?
Your dad and I are leaving right now. Layla didn't end up coming to her own wedding, and so there was no reason for us to stay there, right? And so that's why we left already.
Hold on, Mom! You just left me all alone here by myself? What am I going to do now?
I'd like you to tell all the guests about how our daughter will no longer be coming to that wedding and the reason why. And whatever happens after that, I'd also like you to deal with.
You're leaving this all to me?
As well as the talks about the cost of the wedding. You can already tell that his family is getting upset, right? Try your best and get them to not think about getting a settlement from Layla, okay?
They have a right to be mad at her, though. She literally canceled on the wedding and ran away.
And I want you to be the one apologizing for that. You're good with all that stuff, right? I think you'll be able to handle everything that has to do with the money side of things as well. This has nothing to do with me or your dad, after all.
What do you mean it has nothing to do with you two? Layla is your daughter, right? And what do you mean I'm good at this stuff? I don't ever remember being really good at apologizing for other people's mistakes.
I'm saying that you've always been good at controlling other people's emotions.
Are you talking about how in the past I'd always be there to talk Layla out of getting punished and things like that?
And that made you a great big sister.
Come on, Mom. The only reason she was ever able to get away with things is because you and Dad would always spoil her. And whenever there were any problems, you'd have me come in and handle it.
Don't try and make it sound like we pushed things off on you.
But it's the truth. Whenever I was with Layla and she'd throw a ball and break the window, you'd blame me for it. And when we'd be at a friend's house and she'd damage some of their things, I'd be blamed for it. You guys always made me have to be the one to deal with all her mistakes.
And that's because you're the big sister. It's your job to take care of your little sister, right?
But you guys are making me take her place when she needs to learn herself that what she's done is wrong. But now that you've been doing that all her life, she's never learned that her actions have consequences that can hurt other people. And that's why this whole situation with her wedding has happened. She's an adult, for crying out loud.
And I can see that this time she took things a bit too far. And so, after this, we plan to punish her if she ever comes back to our house.
For the time being, can you guys come back here to help me with her fiancé's parents? If we don't apologize to them and handle this, they'll be very upset.
It should be more than enough to have you there apologizing for all of this.
Are you kidding me?
And that's why I've been asking you to take care of everything for us and that I was thankful. When you have the whole mess cleaned up, you let me and your father know.
So in other words, not only is Layla not taking responsibility for this, but neither are you and Dad?
Well, it's not our fault that Layla decided to cancel out of nowhere on her own wedding like that.
But she's your kid, and you have to take responsibility for that.
Well, she's an adult now and has a life of her own. And she moved out of our house a while back. So there's no reason for us to be responsible for her anymore.
Why are you all so irresponsible?
If you want to keep passing the responsibility around like that, maybe it's time you take it. I think that your father and I don't have to take any responsibility for what's happened today. But you do feel like someone has to be responsible, right? Well, then go ahead and take it so that this can all be dealt with.
There's no reason for me to be taking it either, though.
Well, you're the only one there from the immediate family, right? So it's all on your shoulders now. So make sure you clean it all up with nothing remaining, okay? And do not bring a single speck of trouble home with you.
You're lying, right? Mom, come on. Do not leave me here all by myself in the middle of Layla's problem.
I stopped blocking you, Kenzie. It's been so long now. How are you doing?
Layla, after leaving your wedding without telling anyone and then blocking me when you finally did respond after telling me that you were going to run away, what do you want from me?
Really? You're still upset over all of that? A woman that can't let go of the past is scary.
If you don't have anything for me, can we be done here? I'm working right now anyway.
You're still living with mom and dad, right?
Ever since I got out of college, I've been living there. What about it?
I knew it. Let me guess, you're also still single. If you keep living with them, you're going to stay single forever.
So did you unblock me just to tell me something like that?
Actually, I'm thinking of coming back home.
What? You're coming home now? What are you talking about?
I had a lot of things going on for the past 3 years, Kinsey. But I think that I'm done with all of them and plan to come back and live with mom and dad.
Wait! I have a lot of things I'd like to say as well then. Are you actually saying you want to come back here? It's because of you that I had to deal with a lot of bullcrap.
If you're talking about that wedding, that's in the past now.
Well, after realizing that you had canceled on the wedding, both mom and dad left back to the house as well. And they left me there to clean up your mess.
And?
I had to apologize to every single person there, and that day has gone down as the worst in my life. I had to literally go up to the parents of your fiancé and ask them to forgive you and our family over and over again with all my will.
Great job, Kenzie. Thank you so much for being there for me.
Before I get any thanks from you, I'd like an apology.
I understand that you had all of that happen to you, but I have a new fiancé and I want to come back home to get married.
Don't you dare forget about what happened to me. And you have another fiancé now? You're not on your own right now?
Nope. And he told me that it'd be okay if I lived with mom and dad, so I thought I'd be nice and give him the chance to live with mom, dad, and myself at their house. And so I'd like you to get out of there.
What?
If you're still living there, you're getting in the way, right? And I plan to make your current room into the room him and I can start making love in. So the parasite still living in their parents' house needs to get out.
Well, that house isn't there anymore, though.
Huh? Yeah, there's no way that could be possible.
It's because of you that it went bye-bye.
Because of me? What are you going on about?
We had to sell it 3 years ago. Look, you canceled last minute on your own wedding, right? We had to pay for all the wedding and for the settlement your then fiancé had asked for, and we didn't have the money for that. And so mom and dad sold the house and used that money to pay them.
Hold on a second. I left you to handle everything for me, didn't I?
Well, those people didn't just want me to apologize to them. They also asked that I pay for all of the wedding and for the settlement. And because it was your wedding that you dipped out on last second, your fiancé's parents were so upset with me that they would not let me leave without promising to give them the money they asked for. They were at the point that I feared for my life, that someone might kill me.
Well, maybe you should have been a bit more kind to them.
Realize that they aren't only pissed at me for what happened, and they are also pissed at mom and dad.
What do you mean?
You pushed all your responsibilities on me and ran, and then mom and dad left the wedding with no such thing as a single apology to his family. And when his parents learned that I was the only one trying to save our family, they lost all faith in our parents and you. But luckily, in the end of things, they saw that since I stayed and took the responsibility that was not mine, they forgave me. They told me that I didn't have to be the one to pay them for the money they asked for.
So you're saying that mom and dad took care of all of it?
Well, it should have been you paying, but since you were a little dog about it, Mom and Dad had to. And ever since that day, I have not felt any remorse for Mom and Dad and feel no need to care for them. And I left their home as soon as I could.
Then you lied to me and you're not actually with them anymore.
Well, back when I was going to college, I was able to save a little bit of money by living with Mom and Dad. And then even after that, I continued to stay with them to save up a lot of my own money.
What?
And I had planned to give them some money back for helping pay my tuition. But I also had a scholarship that helped pay for most of my schooling, and so I was able to pay them back through chores around the house since it wasn't that much. However, when you had canceled on your wedding, I made sure to pay them whatever remained with that money I'd saved up and got right out of their house.
Then where are you living at now?
In a penthouse, but that's all I'm saying.
A penthouse? Why the heck are you able to live in a penthouse right now?
Because I'm a married woman, and my husband is a business owner. And so I moved into the penthouse that he had been living in alone while he was single.
Wait, you're lying, right? Why are you able to have such an amazing life now with a husband who has all that money?
Well, anyway, that's the reason there's no more home left for you to go back to. And so you can't come back. When I was leaving the house, Mom told me that I was disowned for leaving them to take care of their mess. And since then, I haven't gotten a single message from either Mom or Dad. So I have no clue where they are or what they're doing at this moment.
Then where should I go now? I'm going to be having a baby soon.
You're going to give birth? Are you actually pregnant right now, Layla?
Yeah, I did become pregnant, and since I'll be needing money and support, I thought I'd go back to Mom and Dad's house to live. And I thought that Mom and Dad would be happy to have me back and all.
Well, this has nothing to do with me then. If you happen to have their numbers still, why not try giving them a call? However, I don't think they're going to help you paint a happy life for yourself.
Hey, Kenzie. Since when have you become married? And when did your husband turn out to be a business owner, allowing you to live in a penthouse?
You disowned me, so I thought that meant we had cut ties, right? Why are you trying to talk to me now? Did you actually want to know that I was getting married back then?
I want to talk about how your husband has money right now. What penthouse are you guys living in? If you happen to have another room in that penthouse, then your dad and I are going to be living there shortly. Do you have kids yet? If you do, then you can leave them in my care while you go out.
If you're looking for a grandbaby, it would be in Layla's belly. So go help care for hers, okay? She is your favorite daughter, after all.
That girl is trying to get us to give her money right now. And when she told us about getting married, she also said her fiancé is jobless. If she doesn't have the money, she should get a job or something. Do something with her life, right? I don't want her coming to us for money right now.
Well, she did say she wanted to become wealthy, didn't she? Guess she never could make it that high. Well, I guess I knew that with the way she acted, nobody with money would be looking to marry her.
Compared to a parasitic daughter asking for money, we'd rather have the daughter that's doing well with her wealthy husband. You know that ever since we had to sell the house, things have been tough for us, right? You also know about how the man that Layla was supposed to marry worked under your dad, right? Because of that, work became difficult for your dad, and right now he's no longer working there. I can't deal with living in this cheap and raggedy apartment anymore, you know? I'd love to see what it's like to live in a penthouse.
Well, I plan to stay as far away as I can from you guys. And so I'd like you guys to no longer talk to me after this.
What are you saying, Kenzie? You want to live with your mom and dad, right? Right. You were home with us that whole time after you graduated, right?
That was because we promised to do that so that I could pay you back for paying my tuition. And I've paid you back for all of it, right?
But ever since you've left us, you've been so cold.
But that might have to do with you and Dad leaving me at Layla's wedding to clean up all the mess for you three.
But when our life began to go downhill, nobody came to help us.
Well, you both and Layla used me so often to take care of all your guys' troubles that when the day came you actually needed help, I was all used up. I am not your scapegoat, okay? I had had enough of your problems and made sure that the next time you needed me, you took the time to deal with your own problems.
I feel so sorry for spoiling Layla so much instead of spoiling you as well. And so I want to apologize to you for all of that. So, please tell us your address. I want to see your husband as well. And since he has his own company and all, he should be able to support your dad and I as well, right? Right, Kinsey? Kenzie, tell us your address. I am not allowed to go back to mom and dad, so I'll be coming to live with you.
Nope.
But your little sister is in trouble again.
Why not try living on your own then? Perhaps even go and care for mom and dad now that they're in trouble as well. I am a wife to a loving husband and family now. I have no need to be around you guys.
But you told me that mom had taken care of paying for the wedding and settlement, right? If I'd known you were telling the truth, then I would have never bothered calling them again.
Well, they had to pay for something you should have managed. I'm guessing they want you to pay them back now for all of that, right?
I don't have that kind of money on me. And I have a baby that I need to give birth to. Aren't they being rude? And when I told them about you, they just hung up on me.
Well, just a bit ago, I was talking with Mom.
Those two are the worst parents. If they need me to care for them in the future, I will definitely not. They never bothered to help me when I need them most, so this is what they'll get. That's why I'll come to live with you now.
Well, when you were in trouble, you took all that trouble and pushed it onto me. And then you just disappeared forever, leaving me with all the people that were really hurt by you to try and say I was sorry to them. Because of that, I am no longer your sister.
Stop that! Hold on a sec. Don't tell me you're not my sister. If I don't have you anymore, who am I going to go to with my needs?
You have that fiancé of yours and a kid on the way. You can ask them to help you. You have to be ready for when your baby arrives, right?
Help me, Kinsey. Your cute little sister is in trouble right now. I have always thanked you for helping me out.
I'm sorry, but I have never liked having to deal with your responsibilities that you pushed onto me. And even though you're an adult now, you still haven't learned that there are consequences for your actions and that you must deal with them instead of having me do it for you.
Wait, Kinsey, I'm asking you, please.
I think it's my turn to block you. According to what friends and distant family have told me, Layla has been battling mom and dad about the money she owes them after they covered for her. They all don't have any money right now, and it seems none of them would like to get a job. They made a truce to all live together and work with whatever money they had to survive, and it seems that the whole conversation about having Layla pay them back has vanished. And recently, it seems the three of them have been going around asking family and friends to lend them some money. But because everyone has heard the stories of what happened, they haven't received a thing.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.